those nights when time seems to slow down and all the noise of the world fades into a soft hum, barely noticeable. Do you ever feel that way, too? As if the night holds a kind of stillness that begs for reflection, for the quiet moments when memories resurface, uninvited but persistent. I've been thinking about the letters I've written over the years, those that never found their way to anyone, those that were sealed but never delivered. There's something strange and maybe beautiful about words written in silence, secrets captured on paper, like whispers into the void. I've always found comfort in writing letters, long before the days of quick messages and fleeting thoughts shared in an instant. There's something intimate about the act itself, holding a pen, pressing it against the smooth surface of the page, letting the ink flow, word by word. The first letter I remember not sending. It was to a friend I hadn't seen in years. We used to be close, like two people who felt that no matter where life took us, we would always have that bond. But time is a way of changing things, doesn't it? So I sat down on an evening much like this one and I started to write. Dear old friend, I wonder if you ever think of me, or if I am now just a distant shadow in your past. There was a time when I thought we would be inseparable, that no matter what life threw at us, we'd find our way back to each other. But now, when I try to picture your face, it's faded at the edges like an old photograph left too long in the sun. I never sent that letter. Even now it sits in a drawer, the ink just as fresh, though the feelings, maybe not so much. It's strange, isn't it? How sometimes writing something down feels like enough, as if capturing the moment on paper is enough to let it go, to move on, even if it was never spoken out loud. There were other letters too, ones that held even more weight, letters written to people I loved, or thought I did. There's one in particular, a letter I wrote on a night when the sky was so dark, it felt like I was floating in a sea of endless black. I wrote it to someone I'd never had the courage to speak to about how I truly felt. Dear you, I wonder if you ever saw me, really saw me. There were moments, I think, when your eyes met mine and for just a heartbeat, I thought I could see something flicker behind them. But you always looked away, didn't you? And I was too scared to ask why. Maybe I'll never know what was hiding behind your silence. Or maybe I already do. I didn't send that one either. It felt too raw, too close to the truth, to risk sending it out into the world. But in a way, writing it helped. Sometimes I think the act of putting your heart on a page, even if no one else ever reads it, is enough to understand yourself a little more. There's another letter, one that feels even more intimate than the others. This one wasn't written to a friend or to someone I loved. It was written to myself, on a day when the weight of everything felt too heavy, when I couldn't quite find the words to say out loud what I was feeling. I wrote it down instead. Dear me, I know you're tired. I know you feel like you've lost your way again. But here's something I want you to remember. This moment, this heaviness, it will pass. You've made it through before, and you will again. Just breathe. Just rest. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. I think that might be the most important letter I've ever written. Even though it was never sent, I keep it tucked away for the days when the silence is too loud and the weight of the world feels a little too much. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves of things we already know, but have forgotten. I wonder, do you have letters you've never sent? thoughts you've put down on paper but never shared. There's something beautiful about those hidden words, like a secret between you and the universe. No one else may ever see them, but they hold meaning all the same. In the end, maybe it doesn't matter if these letters are ever sent. Maybe the act of writing is enough. Enough to feel, enough to process, enough to let go. And sometimes, when a night is quiet like this, I take them out again, unfold them, and let myself drift back to moments when those words felt like the only truth I had. And maybe, just maybe, that's enough. So, here's to letters we write and never send. Here's to the moments captured on paper that stay with us even when no one else sees them. Good night.